Hello everyone, a very good afternoon to all of you. This is Ashwin Ramani, your research analyst at SBI Securities. I hope I'm audible and I hope you are able to see my screen. If you all can give me a heads up in the chat box. अगर मेरी आवाज सुनाई दे रही है, स्क्रीन दिखाई दे रहा है तो आप मुझे एक बार चैट बॉक्स में कमेंट करके बता सकते हो सो दैट आई नो यू आर विद मी लाइव इन द सेशन. Uh, we just wait for a couple of minutes. I see that people are joining in. Rakesh ji, namaste. Chandrasekhar ji, audio video is clear. Salman ji, yes, again clear. Perfect. Suresh ji, clear. Good afternoon. Darshan ji, good afternoon to you guys. Sachin ji, good afternoon. So, how's the Josh in the markets? What is your take on the union budget yesterday? No more trading on no more trading on FNO. I think thanks to the STT hike. Rajesh ji, good afternoon. So probably I felt it was more of on expected lines because obviously tax cuts का तो announcement expected नहीं था because I think with income tax GST already काफी कुछ हो गया था. यस, एक्चुअली मैं आज के वेबिनार के लिए रुका था. सचिन जी सिंह, आपने कई दिनों सिल्वर पर वॉर्न किया था. टुडे एवरीवन अंडरस्टैंड्स. एक्चुअली मैंने सोच के आया था जब सिल्वर गिर रहा था ना, मुझे आप लोग सबकी याद आ रही थी. आप लोग मुझे रोज मिड मार्केट में पूछते थे गोल्ड लेना चाहिए, सिल्वर लेना चाहिए कि नहीं. और हर दिन क्या होता था, हम देखते थे सिल्वर गोल्ड एक नया हाइज बनाता था. मैं आपको बोल रहा था मत करो मत करो, जब ये गिरेगा तब आपको बहुत बड़ा फटका लगेगा उसमें. And you saw how silver and gold kind of fell from their highs here. So जब भी ऐसा कोई एक parabolic move आता है ना, तो the fall is also equally sharp. So understand whether it's stocks, equities or gold and silver, any parabolic rise like this, उसका fate यही होता है कि उसको गिरना ही होता है ऐसे. Because unreal rally था silver and gold में. I think it had to happen at some point. And metal PSUs have started correcting now. So these were the strongest sectors, and now even these two sectors have kind of gone down. Nevertheless, let's discuss the mid market and जो अपना concept session है आज, उसमें हम लोग क्या करेंगे. So based on yesterday's budget, we will look at some of the important announcements that were made for sectors and what are the stocks that can be impacted or stocks that could benefit from that news here. So there's a detailed union budget report that the fundamental team has announced. We'll have a separate webinar by them tomorrow as well. But I'll at least touch you some of the points, some of the key important points and sectors that can be in focus due to the budget here. You can change at your end, Salmanji, because I can't do the change to 1080p. I think you can do that. Probably आप YouTube में जाके आप आपके end से change करो. I think आपको clear दिखेगा. Okay, so let us start off with the mid-market session. So first up, coming on, talking about an update on the US markets first. S&P 500, it closed 0.43% lower. Dow Jones 0.36% lower close हुआ. और Nasdaq 0.94% नीचे क्लोज हुआ फ्राइडे के सेशन में. हालांकि आपको मालूम है कि जेरोम पॉवेल जो कि फेडरल रिजर्व के चेयरमैन है, उनका मई में फाइनल is retiring in May, and President Trump has announced Kevin Warsh as the new Federal Reserve chairman. But Kevin Warsh, जैसे अगर आप हिस्ट्री देखें, so he is not someone who is very keen on getting the interest rates down, जो प्रेसिडेंट ट्रम्प को चाहिए कि वो इंटरेस्ट रेट्स नीचे आ जाए. तो ये भी एक सेंटिमेंट थोड़ा रब ऑफ हुआ था कि लोगों को लगा शायद ये नया फेडरल चेयर आके अब इंटरेस्ट रेट्स को कम करेंगे. बट जैसा उनका ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड रहा है, वो ऐसे इंटरेस्ट रेट्स कम करने वालों में से नहीं है. ही डजंट सीम टू बी a yes or पर्सन जो कि जो भी कम करना होगा तो कम करेगा. It doesn't seem to be that guy. So that has also kind of have had an effect on the sentiment here. Dow futures 470 points down, so we can expect a negative start to the US markets today. If you look at the European markets had a good outing. Germany was up around 0.94%, London 0.51% ऊपर था और France 0.68% ऊपर था. Eurostox index 1% नीचे फिलहाल के लिए. If you look at the Asian markets, सारे Asian markets negative ही है अगर आप देखोगे. In fact, Kospi has kind of lost around 5%. जो कॉस्पी जो आपका साउथ कोरिया का इंडेक्स है जो कि काफी एक स्ट्रॉन्ग गेनर था, दैट हैज गिवन अप ऑलमोस्ट 5% गेन्स. चाइना 2% नीचे है, जापान 1% नीचे है, हैंसेंग 2.87% नीचे. सो देयर इज अ हेवी सेल ऑफ दैट इज गोइंग ऑन इन द एशियन मार्केट्स. आप देख सकते हो सारे जो लाइंस है यहाँ पे, इट्स पॉइंटिंग डाउनवर्ड्स. निफ्टी ऑल्सो देयर वाज प्रेशर. कल एक बड़ा रेड कैंडल बना था, जैसे मैंने बोला था बजट डे में लेवल्स का कुछ भी इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं है. Because anything can happen on the budget day, and STT जैसे ही वो news announce हुआ, we could see that kind of spooked the markets yesterday. Nifty is below 24,900 mark. Nifty has broken below its key technical support level. We'll discuss about that in a bit. Sensex भी almost 81,100 के आसपास है. Both are relatively, Nifty is up 0.15%, Sensex is up 0.44% here. So relatively, we are doing better than the other Asian markets in today's session. Now, if you look at the macro indicators, so dollar index अगर आप देखोगे, जैसे ही नया फेडरल रिजर्व चेयरमैन का अनाउंसमेंट हुआ था, वैसे ही डॉलर इंडेक्स जो कि एक स्ट्रॉन्ग डाउन ट्रेंड में था, अगर आप देखोगे डॉलर इंडेक्स हैड करेक्टेड नियरली अबाउट 4% फ्रॉम दी हाइज ईयर, और वहां से एक पुल बैक देखने को मिला है हमें. बट ये पुल बैक के बावजूद अभी भी डॉलर इंडेक्स का ट्रेंड नेगेटिव ही है. And till the time it stays below the 97.5, 98 mark, the overall trend is likely to remain bearish. One important development, the Indian government bonds 10-year yields, that has given a fresh breakout. This is what we didn't want. I think it has gone to 6.75%. So I think the Indian bond market, I think that has also hit a high. Usually जब equities में pressure होता है तभी आपके bond yields बढ़ना start होते हैं. और आप यही देख रहे हैं कि इंडियन गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड्स 10-year yields have kind of hit a new high here. Thirdly, if you look at dollar by rupee, I'm pretty sure there is some intervention that has happened here. हम ऑलमोस्ट 92 टच कर गए थे, अब फिर से हम 91.51 में आ गए. सो डॉलर हैज काइंड ऑफ कूल्ड ऑफ अ बिट अगेंस्ट द रूपी हियर. One another interesting and a positive development for us is, so crude oil ऐसे लग रहा था कि अब ये एक strong breakout के बाद एक follow through देगा. But crude oil was down around 5.36%. There was also a news saying, I think President Trump had mentioned that India is going to buy Venezuelan oil and not your Iranian crude. So that has kind of led to a fall in the crude oil prices. So it seems to be a fake breakout on the charts here. So we'll have to wait and watch. But I feel next move for crude will only come $170 a barrel mark is taken out on the upside. Rajesh, we will discuss that in a bit. Let me, towards the end, I will discuss the stocks as well. Now, if you look at India VIX, so India VIX, contrary to what we saw in the last 15 budgets, on the budget day, India VIX has kind of gone down. But the history didn't repeat this time. On the budget day, India VIX was up around 11%. That was, I think, for the fact that I think it was majorly your STT news which kind of weighed on the sentiment here. So for the first time in the last 15 budgets, including both interim and final, VIX has really inched up by almost 11%. Ideally, the history says VIX usually cools off post 1 week post the budget, so we'll have to wait and see if VIX cools off. But I think VIX काफी ऊपर चला गया. अगर आप देखोगे from the lows here, VIX is almost up nearly about 83-84%. So from almost 8 we have gone to 16. So I think we could expect some volatility to cool off as the traders digest the news that came in yesterday. Most importantly, if you look at silver, so silver corrected nearly 40% from the highs here. We were at around $122 an ounce. I think it has come down to $75 an ounce now. So clearly there is a big, sell-off that we have seen in silver. And if you're asking what should be your plan of action, better to avoid silver and gold for now. It's like catching a falling knife now. अभी फिलहाल के लिए avoid करना gold and silver. काफी टाइम से मैं बताते आ रहा हूँ. So better to avoid gold and silver for now here. Similarly, if you look at gold, so if you see even gold has kind of corrected. अगर हम gold देखेंगे, so almost it has corrected nearly 21% from the highs. We were at the high of $5,600 an ounce. और वहां से हम आ गए अब nearly $4,500 an ounce here, $4,550 an ounce. So around 20% fall in gold prices as well. Gold, I still feel you can accumulate gradually over a long term, but silver के लिए I think it's better to avoid for now. Yeah, I think we have not seen a big fall like this since almost 4 decades now. So yeah, I think it's like 1980s, absolutely. So ekdam euphoria khatam. I think my heart goes out to people who would have bought gold and silver at these highs here, because it was really not needed to buy at these high levels where काफी time से बोलते जा रहा था avoid करो gold silver, trail करते जाओ but avoid करो. But really for the people who have bought in at the high levels, I think probably they won't probably come to the markets again for at least quite some time now. If we look at the FII positioning, so FIIs again, so barring the 2,251 crores of buying in the cash market on the 30th of Jan, so they sold around 588 crores. So clearly FIIs have been net sellers in the last 15 sessions. If we see, their net selling is close to 34,000 crores. So कुछ shorts covering का signs दिखा नहीं है. और कल के बजट के बाद भी I feel it has had a little impact on the FIIs. Probably one good announcement is that your person resident outside India, they can probably invest in equity instruments through portfolio schemes. That was one important announcement that came in yesterday. So I think, but barring that, I don't see any signs of short covering yet. Long short ratio still is around the 11.7% mark. No improvement. We have been hovering around that 11 to 14% mark almost since 21st of Jan now. So clearly FIIs, I think the budget has failed to excite the FIIs. Clearly, as we'll have to wait and watch as to what could be the trigger for the FIIs to return back to our markets. If you look at Nifty now, importantly, what I wanted to show in Nifty is I wanted to show you all the daily chart for Nifty here. If अगर हम Nifty की बात करें, so Nifty has broken below the key 24,900 level. I'll see this was one important support for Nifty. There was another important support for Nifty here, and Nifty kind of broke this trend line support here. So you can see this 24,900 mark. This was a strong trend line support for Nifty. If we draw a trend line connecting these two lows here, and we can extend it further, ये जो कल बड़ा candle दिखा था budget के दिन पे, this was your budget day candle, and we have broken below this 24,900 mark. And अगर आप ये भी pattern देखोगे, so there is this pole here and there is this flag here. So this is, you can see a bearish flag and pole भी आपको दिख रहा है यहाँ पे. This is your pole and this is your flag, and then there is a bearish flag and pole breakdown as well. So this is clearly थोड़ा सा एक negative sign है Nifty के लिए. So I think till the time Nifty stays below the 24,900 mark, chances are that Nifty is likely to remain under pressure. Only I think if we go above this trend line about 24,900, I think we can expect some pullback move in your Nifty here. Now, if you look at the 5 minutes chart, okay, let me remove this. अगर हम 5 minutes chart देखें यहाँ पे, just a second. Okay, if you look at the 5 minutes chart, so Nifty, I feel intraday levels would be, I think this is a very strong level to watch out. The level of 24,940, 24,950. Chances are that Nifty can face some intraday resistance here. On the downside, I feel there is a strong intraday support around the 24,680, 24,700 mark. I think any move below 24,680 that can push the prices down even further. But for Nifty, I feel if we go about 25,950, then chances are that, maybe we can expect some pullback on the upside. But the chances of the pullback sustaining on the higher side looks very unlikely. Because जब तक हम 24,900 reclaim नहीं कर देते तब तक I think the trend is likely to be sideways to bearish. If you look at Sensex, so even Sensex has had a pretty similar story. So Sensex again, it had kind of given a breakdown here, and since then it has drifted lower. It trades below all the key moving averages. If you see again, there was a big red bearish candle here, though there is some pullback. But I feel till the time we don't cross the 82,400, 82,500 mark, I feel the overall trend for Sensex is also likely to remain bearish. Purely from an intraday perspective, I feel this level of 81,250 that is likely to act as a strong resistance. That is where the previous swing high is placed for Sensex. On the downside, I feel an important support for Sensex is this low around 8330, 8350. That is where the swing low for Sensex is placed. So below 8330, 8350, we can expect some weakness. But on the upside, if we take out 81, 240, 81, 250, then we can expect some pullback. But again, क्या ये pullback ऊपर sustain होगा? Very difficult because the overall structure is relatively weaker for Sensex as well. If you look at Bank Nifty, so Bank Nifty, I mean, it was, if you see, there was a couple of times where Bank Nifty took support from its 100-day EMA. Even on the budget day, it fell below its 100-day EMA, but वहाँ से recovery आया था थोड़ा नीचे के level से, and it closed above the 100-day EMA here. Even on the 27th of Jan, it kind of took support from the 100-day EMA. But again, it has kind of broken below the 100-day EMA now, and I think थोड़ा सा basically एक indecision ही है आज के session में. अगर आप देखोगे, there is no real movement. I think for Bank Nifty again, I feel an important resistance would be around 58 490, 58 500. That's a strong resistance. While on the downside, the support is around this level, that is around 57 800. So 57 800 on the downside, that is where the support for Bank Nifty is placed. While on the upside 58 500, that's where the resistance is. So clearly for all the three indices, clearly Bank Nifty relatively better है, इतना crack नहीं हुआ है जितना आपका Nifty and Sensex हुआ है. So Bank Nifty still it's sideways, but I think Nifty and Sensex, the view is still bearish until the key levels are not taken out on the upside. Now talking about the sectors to watch, so clearly कल IT एक इकलौता sector था जो कि positive था. I think that was mainly got to do with the fact that वो जो data centers का जो announcement था, the foreign companies cloud services अगर देते हैं through Indian data centers, उनके लिए tax holiday जो announce किया था 2047 तक. So that kind of helped, IT index a bit. But again, if you see all the sectors, almost all the sectors have gone down. You can see कल सारे sectors नीचे ही थे. Realty, भले realty positive है, it's been underperforming. Oil and gas, defense, tourism, private banks, auto, manufacturing. I mean, none of the sectors are showing any strong traction even in today's session. So clearly, I think there is no strength left in any of the sectors for now. So metal and PSUs, which were outperforming, even they have corrected now. Even I think there is some good profit booking seen in the PSU space as well. Now, if you look at the RRG graph, okay, let me show you the RRG graph first. And let us see RRG के basis पे कौन से sectors है जो strength दिखा रहे हैं, कौन से sectors है जो कि weak है. I think it's taking some time to load. Yeah, now it's going to see. Okay, now if we look at the relative rotational graph, so let's see. So metal again from leading has come to the weakening quadrant. So clearly, metal में अभी weakness आ गया. Even PSU banks, you can see it has drifted lower into the weakening segment here. आपका PSU और metal एक strongest looking sectors थे, वो दोनों अभी weakening quadrant में आ गए. Commodities again back to the weakening quadrant. Even financial services is back to the weakening quadrant here. Manufacturing already weakening इसमें था. IT भले ही leading quadrant में, but you can see there is IT sector has also kind of gone down. Nifty bank has gone down. Nifty private bank has gone down. PSE थोड़ा ऊपर था, but the head is kind of pointing downwards now. So clearly कोई particular एक sector नहीं है जो काफी strong लग रहा है currently for now. But you can see there are a lot of sectors in the lagging quadrant. Realty is in lagging, consumer durables, your small cap, then you have your pharma, then you have consumption, healthcare, even auto is in the lagging quadrant now. There is weakness in the auto space as well. But the only two sectors, I think infra is one sector that is kind of improving. Lagging quadrant से at least एक improving quadrant में गया है. So FMCG भी जो improving था, it ideally should have moved up, but again FMCG is also gone down. And oil and gas, in fact, I think there is good traction in the oil and gas space. अब यो improving से towards leading जा रहा है. So I feel only couple of sectors that are looking strong currently. One is your Nifty infra that has moved from lagging to your improving quadrant, and your Nifty oil and gas that is kind of moving towards your leading quadrant here. So these are the only two strongest looking sectors for now. I think all the other sectors are looking extremely weak at the current juncture. Now, talking about the sectors to watch, so honestly, I didn't have any sectors that are showing strong positive price action structures at the current levels. So I thought, why not we have a discussion on sectors that are looking relatively weaker. One is PSU bank. So अगर हम PSU banks का ratio chart देखें, PSU by Bank Nifty, we have gotten an upward sloping trend line breakdown. So clearly now it seems like PSU bank has kind of made a top. थोड़ा सा peak out हो गया है PSU banks में, ऐसा लग रहा है. And I feel थोड़ा सा weakness continue हो सकता है PSU banks में. I think if you look at Bank of Baroda has given an upward sloping trend line breakdown. काफी strong था. ये देखो 20-day EM में hold भी किया था. But ये जो कल breakdown आया था 1st Feb को और आज थोड़ा और नीचे चला गया, and RSI has also kind of deteriorated. So as long as Bank of Baroda doesn't cross above 300, the overall trend is likely to remain sideways to bearish. Apart from that, even Canara Bank for that matter, अगर हम Canara Bank देखें, भले ही आज एक pullback candle दिख रहा है, but even Canara Bank में आपको एक clear एक RSI negative divergence दिखा और एक trend line breakdown भी मिला है. So I feel the important resistance for Canara Bank is around 150. जब तक ये 150 के नीचे, I feel even Canara Bank can slightly underperform, going forward. So PSU में definitely weakness है, so don't be aggressively long on PSU banks now. I think इसका rally almost end होते हुए नजर आ रहा है. The other sector that is lagging behind is FMCG. FMCG काफी time से lagging ही है. अगर आप देखोगे, it has been significantly underperforming Nifty because the ratio line is kind of moving down. A couple of stocks that are not doing well. One is Marico. अगर हम Marico की बात करें, so even Marico has, भले आज 200 EMA से एक कैंडल बनते हुए नजर आ रहा है, but I feel it has still given a upward sloping trend line breakdown. जब तक हमें ये 725 730 के ऊपर एक decisive close नहीं मिलता है, तब तक Marico is likely to remain under pressure. Apart from that, even Radico Khaitan for that matter, अगर हम Radico Khaitan देखें, काफी एक strong support level के आसपास अभी है, वो trade कर रहा है. So this level of 2700 was a strong support for Radico. There were multiple times where the price took support, and I think it's now hovering around its 2700 mark. अगर यहाँ से एक breakdown आता है, if we go below 2700, then I feel Radico Khaitan is also likely to underperform going forward. और जब तक हम 2850 2870 ऊपर पार नहीं करते, तब तक the overall trend is likely to remain bearish. Apart from that, like I said, even auto counters are doing well. Auto में especially not auto per se, but a couple of tire companies are relatively not doing well. But there is weakness in the auto space. Again, auto has given an upward sloping trend line breakdown. So again, काफी weakness है auto space में. One is Balkrishna Industries. Balkrishna की बात करें, so Balkrishna has kind of given an upward sloping trend line breakdown. It trades below all the key moving averages. Chart structure relatively weak लग रहा है, and I feel जब तक 2325 2350 के नीचे ट्रेड कर रहा है तब तक प्रेशर बना रह सकता है बालकृष्ण इंडस्ट्रीज पे. Apart from that, even Apollo Tyres, for that matter, even Apollo Tyres has given an upward sloping trend line breakdown. So you can see these are all chart structures जो कि एकदम weak chart structures है. तो फिलहाल के लिए इसमें बाई पोजीशंस बनाना काफी डिफिकल्ट बन जाएगा. सो अपोलो टायर्स अगेन इट हैज गिवन an upward sloping trend line breakdown. It's below all the key moving averages. RSI 40 के नीचे है. DI minus is above DI plus. MACD is below the zero line. So you can see neither your indicators or your price action is hinting towards any positive momentum here. Apart from that, one another sector that is down, that is Intellect. अगर आप Intellect देखोगे, this was a major support for Intellect. There was one support here, one support here, there was one support here, and अभी एक breakdown मिला है यहाँ पे. So I feel जब तक हम 900 के नीचे, 895 900 के नीचे, the overall trend again is likely to remain bearish for Intellect as well. And one another stock that is likely to be negative is Thyrocare Technologies. Even Thyrocare has given an upward sloping trend line breakdown. I think a breakdown के बाद और drift हुआ है नीचे. RSI 40 के नीचे, MACD जीरो लाइन के नीचे, 200 EMA के नीचे. तो जब तक 435 440 के नीचे ट्रेड कर रहा है तब तक ओवरऑल ट्रेंड इसका नेगेटिव ही लग रहा है. Now talking about the concept, so like I said, आज के concept session में कल के जो budget announcements हुए उसके बारे में I'll talk about some key sectors. Though we will have a detailed discussion by the fundamental team on the budget. I think it is scheduled for tomorrow if I'm not wrong. There is a detailed report. You can see that on SBI Securities website. अगर आप SBI Securities पे जाओगे, you can go to research you can go to fundamental research, and under fundamental research आप thematic reports में जाओगे, आपको एक यूनियन बजट 26-27 का डॉक्यूमेंट मिलेगा. You can access this PDF here. Now, let me show you some important announcements. So there is a big list of report that our team has made. Let me show you some actionable things here, which is important for us for now. Okay. Now, what is the impact of certain news belonging to certain sectors? So the first impact will be on the aerospace and defense industry. So if you look at aerospace and defense, so the defense capex has jumped 17.6% to 2.2 trillion and is up 21.8% here. So I think some of the key, I think raw materials imported for manufacturing defense MRO parts are now exempt from basic custom duty. Some of the names from the defense space would be Data Patterns, Azad Engineering, Paras Defense, Bharat Electronics, Solar Industries, Bharat Forge, Zentech, GRSE. These are some of the beneficiaries of the defense capex announcement. Also, I think the next sector is railway. So railway capex stands at 2.8 trillion, that is up around 10.3%. So a capex towards doubling of railway lines. So that was also one measure that was announced. They are going to establish new dedicated freight corridors from Surat to Dankuni. They're also going to set up 7 high-speed rail corridors. I think some of the key beneficiaries for this would be RVNL, IRCON, Rides, Jupiter Wagons, Texmaco Rail, Titagar, BML, HBL Engineering, Karnex Microsystems, and Quadrant Future Tech. So see, these are some of the beneficiaries of this announcement here. I think the next major announcement was on infrastructure. I think अगर आप देखोगे infrastructure एक improving quadrant में भी गया है. So your roads, power, housing, coastal transport, logistics, shipping. So the infrastructure capex has enhanced from 11.2 to 12.2 trillion. They are going to operationalize 20 new national waterways. There is going to be a ship repair ecosystem for inland waterways at Varanasi and Patna. They are going to develop 7 high-speed rail corridors. Then again, there is Surya Ghar, Mufti, Bijli Yojana. And one important announcement was they are going to restructure PFC and REC. Again, to promote nuclear power, custom duties on all goods used for nuclear power generation was reduced to 0. This was also one important announcement. Again, key beneficiaries would be L&T, Cement, TD Power Systems, Polycab, Ultratech, Tata Communications, Anantraj, APL, Apollo Tubes, Oswal Pump, Shakti Pumps, PFC, RAC, of course, SCI and MTATech Technologies. Then there was one important announcement on semiconductors. There is a launch of India Semiconductor Mission 2.0 of rupees 1,000 crores to produce equipment and materials to design full stack Indian IP. Again, some of key beneficiaries for semiconductors, CG Power, Keynes Technologies, Linde India, Carborundum Universal, and Acuitas Chemicals. These are some of the stocks that could be a beneficiary of semiconductors. Then again, one important announcement for pharma and proposed outlay of 10,000 crore over next 5 years under Biopharma Shakti to develop India as the biopharma hub. Again, they are going to establish 3 new national institutes for pharmaceutical education and research. So I think key beneficiaries for this would be Biocon, Sun Pharma, Lupin, Divis Labs, Anthem Biosciences. These could be some of the stocks that could be beneficiaries. Then again, for electronic manufacturing, outlay has increased to 22,000 from 22,919 crores to 40,000 crores. Again, Sirma, SGS Technologies, Amber Enterprises, and Dixon Technologies. This could be your long-term beneficiaries for electronic manufacturing. Then from textiles, so there is a proposal for integrated program for textiles. That is your National Fiber Scheme, Textile Expansion and Employment Scheme, National Handloom and Handicraft Scheme, Tex Eco Initiative, Summer 2.0. Then they are going to set up mega textile parks in challenge mode, Mahatma Gandhi Gram Swaraj Initiative, a dedicated initiative for sports goods. So there was a couple of announcements relating to sports. Now some export focused integrated players would be Gokaldas Exports, Wellspun Living, Indocount Industries, Arvind, Pearl Global Industries, Vardhaman Textiles. Whereas technical textiles में अगर हम देखेंगे तो Garware Technical Fibers, SRF, Arvind, these could be the beneficiaries of that. Then one important announcement was on critical minerals. So a scheme for rare earth permanent magnets was launched in November 25. And the government has proposed to support mineral-rich states of Odisha, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu to establish dedicated rare earth corridors to promote mining, processing, research, and manufacturing. So again, there was, a dedicated rare earth corridors. I think this could be probably, next big thing is what I feel. So GMDC, NMDC, NHC India, Coal India, Indian IMFA, that is your Indian Metals and Ferroalloys, and your MOIL. These are some of the sectors that could benefit. Then again, for metals and mining, there has been an outlay of 20,000 crores for the next 5 years for carbon capture, utilization, and storage. Again, the key beneficiaries would be Tata Steel, JSW Steel, Jindal Steel, SAIL, and Graphite, and HEG. And lastly, capital markets. I think we all know STT has been hiked to 0.05% on futures, and on option premiums, it has been raised to 0.15%. There was one important announcement relating to buyback as well. So to tax buyback on all types of shareholders as capital gains, the promoters will have to pay additional buyback tax of 22% and 30% for non-corporate promoters. That is, and individuals will pay tax at 12.5% in case of LTCG and 20% in case of short term. I think this is negative in the short term for Angel One, Grow, Novama, and BSE. There was one important announcement for IT as well. So the common safe margin is 15%, unlike 70 to 24% earlier. Software ITS, KPOs, contract R&D are clubbed together. Tax holiday to foreign company that provides cloud services to customers globally using data services from India. I think this was one important announcement here. So Coforge, Persistent, Zensatech, TCS, Anantraj, MTATech, and NetWeb Technologies. These are some of the beneficiaries. And that was some of the impact of certain announcements on the stocks as well. I think more on that. I think the fundamental team will cover that in tomorrow's session. So that's all from today's bid market. Now let us start off with our question and answer. If you have any queries, any doubts, do let me know in the chat box, and I'll be happy to answer them. I think you're still asking about gold and silver. I think it's better to exit now because already 30-40% नीचे है. Avoid fresh entry for now. See अगर आपका सी सिल्वर पे एग्जिट करना बेटर है. अगर आपको एवरेज करना है तो आप गोल्ड में एवरेज कर सकते हो, बट प्रोवाइडेड योर टेन्योर इज फॉर लॉन्ग टर्म एटलीस्ट 3 to 5 years. Yes, I have covered 7 rail corridors. That is part of your railway capex. Yes, railway and infra. I'm not sure. I think railway capex में ही आएगा वो 7 rail corridors में. Union Bank, Nitish ji, I think it's better to kind of square off because there's a big red candle that was formed, and I feel PSU banks में relative weakness है अभी. So I think it's better to square off your positions in Union Bank for now. Jindal Steel. Jindal Steel, see, like I said, even metals is looking slightly dicey at this point. See, I think 1075, 1080, this is where you can keep your SL. I think if it goes below that, it's better to exit. Anantraj, I feel wait for a breakout above 590, 600 in Anantraj. I think once we get that, it can move up. Embassy भी positive ही है, but there is no momentum currently. But around 425 is where you can consider SL for Embassy. TMPV फिलहाल के लिए avoid करना. भले एक pullback है, the overall trend is still down. I think avoid Tata Motors passenger vehicles for now. Concor is good. I think there was containers का भी. I think there was one news. I think, but Concor I feel too early though. I think it needs to go above this high here. I feel जब हमें इसके ऊपर मिलता है, the moment we go above this high 530, 535, I think it can kind of move up higher. Until then, it's better to avoid. New India Assurance. Yeah, just a second, guys. संतोष जी MCX avoid करना. I think commodities pressure में है. Bank of Baroda भी avoid करना. New India Assurance भी avoid करना. It's trades below all the key moving averages. I think जब तक हम 151, 155 के ऊपर नहीं जाते तब तक इसमें प्रेशर रह सकता है. मिदानी इसी बीच में मिदानी इनफैक्ट चार्ट स्ट्रक्चर इंप्रूव हुआ था. लेट मी चेक मिदानी अगेन. जस्ट अ सेकेंड. It's taking some time to load. Yeah. See Midani यहाँ पे it had given a fresh breakout, but यहाँ पे breakout fail हो गया यहाँ पे. I think if you are holding, then probably you can consider around 330 as an SL. I think below 330 it's better to exit Midani. Defense stocks, in fact, I was very surprised with the fall in defense stocks. In fact, defense was looking very good. But I feel defense में I think post Operation Sindoor, I think everyone thought the capex is going to significantly go up, but वो हुआ नहीं. But I think for GRSE you can have around 2,390, 2,400 as a support for GRSE. Netweb Technologies. Netweb, see, फिलहाल के लिए there is no momentum in this counter. I think 3,000 is a strong support. I think about 3,500, the stock is likely to move higher. Rallis India. I think avoid Rallis India. I think clearly, the chart structure is not looking great in Rallis. I think it's better to avoid. Narayana Rudralya. Okay, let me check. ट्रेंड फिलहाल के लिए अवॉइड कर रहा श्रीधर जी बिकॉज ट्रेंड इज येट टू शो अस दैट ग्रोथ. आई डोंट नो व्हाई माय नेट हैज गॉन सडनली स्लो. नारायण रुद्र अगेन फिलहाल के लिए अवॉइड करना. देयर इज वन इंपॉर्टेंट सपोर्ट एट अराउंड 1700. आई थिंक इफ इट ब्रेक्स 1700 chances are that it can go down even further. L&T Finance. Okay, just a second. L&T, no, I think avoid it. I think if it's as long as it stays below 275, I feel the structure is likely to be negative. Viramamji. Okay. LTF, I think better to avoid LTF for now. But overall tourism boost hai. Of course, there is medical tourism and archaeological sites development. I think there was a lot of good announcement, but I feel the overall tourism sector is under pressure. There was no signs of recovery yesterday. So for now, I think it's better to hold on to tourism sector for now. NMDC, I think avoid metal and PSUs abhi avoid karna guys. I think it's if you are holding then it's better to take out some profits. I feel it would be wise. ऊपर गया तो ठीक है मुझे बोलना नहीं, but नीचे गया तो मुझे याद कर लेना. ठीक है, but I feel metal it's better to be slightly cautious because metal I feel it's probably nearing its uptrend now. I think NMDC again you can hold until 78.5. I mean if it goes below 78.5 then it's better to exit. If you look at MOIL, अभी कुछ बाय कर सकते हैं फिलहाल के लिए. अभी अवॉइड करना मनीष जी, थोड़ा सा रुक जाना. सी देखो मार्केट्स थोड़ा सा प्रेशर में है कल से. भले ही बजट रिलेटेड स्टॉक्स आपको लॉन्ग टर्म पर्सपेक्टिव से मिल रहे हैं बट शॉर्ट टर्म के लिए इट्स बेटर टू अवॉइड. थोड़ा सा वेट करना ठीक है. आई थिंक एक फियर ऑफ मिसिंग आउट आई थिंक आपको फील होगा बट इट्स बेटर टू अवॉइड फॉर नाउ. मॉइल आई थिंक अवॉइड करना, इट्स क्लियरली अंडर प्रेशर. बजट रिपोर्ट परमेश्वरन जी आप क्या कर सकते हो? यू कैन गो टू SBI Securities website. So this is our website here. Under website you will find the research tab. Under research tab you will have fundamental research. So you go to fundamental research, under that go down and you will find thematic reports. There is pick of the day, pick of the week. So you go under thematic reports. And under that, you will see Union Budget 26-27. You can click on View PDF and you will get a detailed PDF here. So we have covered everything that was covered in the budget yesterday. Dixon Keynes, अब फिलहाल के लिए avoid करना आनंद जी. I think both the stocks are in a downtrend. अभी तक कुछ strong reversal signs दिखे नहीं है. So it's better to avoid both Dixon and Keynes for now. Dixon is see it's in a downtrend, no signs of reversal. I think even Keynes be downtrend, may even trend for that matter. That is also in a downtrend. So trend, Keynes, Dixon, good stocks from a long-term perspective, but purely from a short-term, I think it's better to avoid them. थोड़ा सा markets recover होने दो guys. I think अभी तक markets recover हुआ नहीं है. I think जब markets recover होगा, then we will get some stocks. See, STT ka impact, there definitely there will be some short-term impact, but I think applying STT is just like putting more taxes on cigarettes. People are anyway going to smoke. For the people who smoke, they will smoke. For the people who trade, they will trade. Whether it's high STT, low STT. So I feel short-term may impact hai definitely, but I feel long-term may there is not going to be much impact of STT here. CG Power, again, I think from a short-term perspective, better to avoid. Though there is some pullback, but I think it's better to avoid CG Power for now. Even KSOLs, avoid KSOLs as well. It's in a downtrend. I think it trades below all the key moving averages, so I think it's better to avoid KSOLs as well. Transformers, ये भी avoid ही करना, ये भी downtrend में ही है फिलहाल आनंद जी. So like I said, wait for it. थोड़ा सा recover होने दो market. I think ये सारे stocks recover होंगे, but वो जब recovery आएगा तब इसको देखना उचित होगा is what I feel. ठीक है, so I guess that's all from today's mid market session. I hope it was informative. And if you find these sessions valuable, like I said, do share it with your friends, families, and relatives. So tomorrow there'll be a detailed budget session by the fundamental team. And I think you can attend that. It will be a good value add. Vedanta avoid karna, Chandrasekhar ji, avoid metal space for now. Okay, bye guys, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow at 12:30 for the new mid market session. Bye guys and take care.